First family trip with our baby son. Laughter echoes with everyone. Holding hands while making some waves in this magic summer haze.
Hello and welcome to Warp Zone. My name is Alize.
And I'm Jackie, and remember, Trumpy Trout is not a fuck toy. I know it's tempting, but again, it's not a fuck toy, just remember that.
Wow, I don't even know what that is. But as always, thank you for joining us as we bring you weekly entertainment and gaming news. Now, last week we had to take a break, and that breaks our hearts truly. But now we are back on track, and we're gonna try and stay on track and on schedule, right, Jackie?
That's a little bit dramatic, but yes, let's go with that. Let's start with the small talk this week, and I want to talk about the scariest moments of our life. Let's do this.
So I have a fear of heights, and this kind of started in preschool. So you know how school kids in South Africa, we wear like a uniform, but preschoolers, they wear like casual clothing.
Oh, okay.
So one morning before school started, I was playing in the playground and I was gonna go on the slide. But you see, I'm wearing like this big orange hoodie and it kind of gets stuck at the top of the slide and it's zipped up,
Oh,
so I'm suspended and dangling at the top of the slide. Which for a kid, it feels like I'm so fucking high, I'm gonna die if I fall, and then I'm choking out and I can't breathe and I'm freaking out. And then the bell rings and it's time for class, and now I'm like, oh no, fuck, fuck, fuck. And the teacher comes out and is like, Alize, stop playing, it's time for class. And I'm like, And then she realizes that like I'm not playing around, I'm not like holding on to the top of the thing, I'm trying to unhook myself. And she comes and she just unhooks me, and because it's not that high up, it's a preschool slide, so she can reach if she just.
were you still on the sitting area of the slide, or were you like dangling in the air?
No, it's on the slide itself, but the
Oh,
hoodie is hooked at the top. So now I'm half sliding, half being held up.
and did the teacher rescue you?
Yeah, basically. You wanted me to stay there.
No, I wonder what the teacher do, just like yell at you and left you in the playground or something.
Wow, I think I'd choke out. But yeah, that gave me like a big fear of heights and being suspended in the air and shit like that. Kind of hate that feeling.
Speaking of childhood trauma, right?
Yeah.
When I was young, the most scariest thing for me is trapped in the elevator.
Oh.
The thing is, when you're trapped in the elevator, you have four walls around you, right? And you don't know how long you're gonna trap there in a. It's also a small space as well for a kid, and I got scared because I'm kind of like, scared of small space. And yeah, I remember it's not just one time; it's happening a couple of times as well that I trapped in the elevator. And I screamed. I remember one time I screamed so loud and no one were coming out for a while because they thought the neighbor parents just beating their kids up. It's kind of like the 80s thing that the parents beating their kids up it's a normal thing at that time. So I remember the neighbor didn't come out until like later on because I keep screaming and crying. Because I trapped in the elevator for a couple of times, I learned the trick that if you actually use your finger to open up the door a little bit, like a tiny gap, the elevator actually moves a little bit. So again, I got experience trapping in the elevator for a while. And I mean, doesn't mean it's calm me down or anything. I still got scary. So I used that trick to open the elevator a little bit door. And the elevator dropped down a little bit. And it gave me the gap to open an external door. So I opened the door, I used my feet to hold the door, and I opened the second door. The whole elevator is not totally in the open, but don't think too much. It's not a scary movie. I didn't stick my head out and then I chopped my head off because the elevator suddenly dropped. It's not like that. So I opened this external door and I screamed, and then that family on that floor came out and helped me out.
Oh my
It's scary, man. As a kid, it's very scary, you know?
Jeez, Jackie, how old were you?
I was in maybe grade 1 or 2.
Damn, you were a baby. You're like
Yeah,
you're a child. Oh man, horrible.
I know. And then I remember the family rescued me, and they went up and got my parents came down, and I was crying, and the family told my parents, say, "Oh, I thought it's just a neighbor beating up their kid. That's why we didn't come out early." Yeah, so that's one of my childhood trauma.
You're okay now. You're happy.
Yeah, I got experience. I learned from it, you know. So yeah, I'm okay now.
Geez, yeah. Well, let's get on with the show. Here's Jackie with the entertainment news.
This week we got a few entertainment news. It's, I don't know, is it because of we skip a week, so I have quite a few here. First, I'm gonna talk about Netflix. Netflix has a brand new features they're rolling out. Netflix is rolling out a brand new features called Moments. It's designed to give users the power to bookmark, save, and share their favorite scenes from Netflix show and movies. So how it works is when you're watching Netflix on your phone, a new option called Moments will pop up. You can save a special scenes and it gets a timestamp. Make it easy to come back and relive the moments later. These moments can be shared on social media platforms like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Snapchat. Netflix is trying to push their social media sharing experience at the moment. This feature is starting on iOS and will roll out on Android in the coming weeks. We don't yet know if Moment will extend to regular TV screens or web browsers, but Netflix is telling us they have plans for expanding this feature in the future. This new features Moment is dropping December 26th. Next, I'm going to talk about James Van Der Beek diagnosed with colorectal cancer. James, best known for his works in Dawson's Creek and Varsity Blues, has been diagnosed with colorectal cancer. According to American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer begins in colon and rectum, which makes up the one large intestine. At this point, he hasn't shared how long he has been diagnosed with cancer, nor has he been clarified exactly what he means. But he did add that he's feeling good at the moment. James has also been keeping busy in recent months. He made an appearance in an episode of Walker and has a new movie sidelined The A.B. and Me, which is currently in post-production. He is also involved in a new 2-hour special called The Real Full Monty, where celebrities will strip down to make awareness for different types of cancers. James is married to Kimberly Book, has 6 children together, and yes, quite big family going on, and hope he's okay. Next, I'm gonna talk about Anna Kendrick recently shared the worst notes she ever received from a director while filming. During an interview on the Happy Sad Confused podcast, Kendrick was asked about what's the worst notes that Anna Kendrick have ever gotten from a director. Anna recalled one time when a director told her to improvise for scenes in front of a room full of extras. To make something up for the next scene, she did exactly that. But after she finished, the director walked over to her and in front of everyone said, "Oof, let's go back to the script." Anna described it as a calculated power move intended to embarrass her and gain dominance. Again, this happened on the set in front of hundreds of extras. She added that was pretty icky.
Damn.
Yeah. In addition, Anna Kendrick, Woman of the Hour, is on Netflix right now. She directed the movie and also starred in it as Cheryl Bradshaw. The film is based on a true crime story about Ronnie Alcala, who is also known as the dating game killer and committed violent attack and murders of women. Anna wanted to focus the movie on humanity instead of centering on the killer himself. So during an interview with Sirius XM, she revealed that she donated her entire income from the film to RAIN and the National Center for Victims of Crime. Both are non-profit organizations that help victims of violent crime. She expressed concern about whether it was right to make money from such a serious topic, saying she felt it would be gross to make profit from it. So as a result, she decided to donate her entire earnings to charity. So Woman of the Hour is streaming on Netflix right now, and it is rated R. Next, I'm gonna talk about the Scandal cast is reuniting. The iconic cast, along with show creator Shonda Rhimes, will be doing a live script reading to raise funds for victims of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina. This event is organized in partnership with United Way, North Carolina, and Bellamy Young is the one who created this event. Bellamy Young, who played Nellie Grant on Scandal, created this fundraiser because of her deep connection to her hometown in North Carolina and her desire to support the community as well. Joining her for this cause are Kerry Washington. Also, they have Scott Foley, Katie Lowe, Joshua Manana, Joe Monton, Josh Newton, and more people from the cast also joining her. Shonda Rhimes will kick things off, and her producing partner, Bessie Beers, will narrate the reading. Plus, there will be some special guests whose names hasn't been announced yet. And that's the deal. If you donating to the charity, one lucky fan will get the chance to join the cast and even play a character in the episode they will be reading. The live script reading will take place on Sunday, November 17 at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're a Scandal fan, you may not want to miss the opportunity to take part in, and you may be casting in the reading as well. So there you go.
Oh, and fun fact, it's not in South Africa, it's not called Scandal, it's The Fixer. Because there was already a show called Scandal.
I heard about that. Yes, they changed the name in South Africa. I like it. Yeah, and this is my entertainment news for this week.
So from gaming side, we've got some newcomers. So for those of you who are fans of Fortnite and also American, you might be interested in the new map Freedom Town, which is themed around Kamala Harris' presidential campaign. This goes over her pledges such as tax breaks for small businesses and focus on affordable housing and such. Dragon Age The Veilguard, a highly anticipated title, has been getting mixed reviews so far. Though it wouldn't be a stretch to say that the game is trying to push boundaries, or at least some, as through character creation and even dialogue options, you are able to have your character declare that they are transgender, which is cool. Master set tracking is now available. Track your Pokemon TCG collection through the Rare Candy app. Hashtag not sponsored. A new article on IGN by Seth G. Macy about Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 multiplayer has been published. They go over maps, guns, and gunplay, so check that out. Little Nightmares 3 has a new trailer, and that's great. I'm not the biggest fan of Little Nightmares, but it is what it is. And for the anime lovers, Death Note is getting a game as announced, as the announcement trailer dropped, and the game is coming sooner than we think. It'll be out by the time this podcast is out. It is clear to see the gameplay will be something like Among Us, where up to 10 players are split between two teams. Some are Kira and his followers, and some are Al and the detectives, where the objective is to arrest Kira or to escape the law as the new god of the world.
Ooh.
That's right. Death Note, The Killer Within, is dropping on the 5th of November. As of recording, that's like an hour and 47 minutes ago. And will also be a PlayStation Plus Essential Day 1 title. So as soon as it comes out, if you have PlayStation Plus, you should be able to play.
I'm kind of looking forward for this game actually.
Yeah, no, it looks fun. And to finish off the newcomers, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, or TCG Pocket, has finally had its international release. We've been playing the game a bit, and from my end, it's an interesting change from the old mobile TCG game, which follows the normal rules. TCG Pocket changes things up by halving the size of your bench, removing energy cards, and replacing it with an energy generating system where from the second turn, each player is given 1 energy per turn to allocate to a Pokemon. By doing this, you can imagine some of the original cards had their abilities changed to better fit the new game. Artwork is still great, mostly classic stuff. You can see the artist of the illustration at the bottom of each card. That's still a nice touch. And when purchasing booster packs in the in-game store using in-game money, some booster packs can be bent or backwards, which makes it feel more like you're buying a literal physical pack in a store, when sometimes in the pack they're backwards, or you can have bent corners and cards or whatever, but they're not going to bend the cards, obviously. But yes, it has already reached over 12 million downloads. Things are looking up.
Wow. What do you think personally from this TCG Pocket?
I think once I get better cards, I'll feel more inclined to keep playing. Because right now I'm just playing to get more booster packs, and I'm not playing so much the versus mode. And the solo mode, I'm kind of stuck unless I keep using the rental things, and then you run out of rental decks. I'll probably keep playing, basically.
I kind of enjoy this TCG Pocket. For me, it's kind of addictive. Obviously, I don't have as much good card as you, but I really enjoy the solo game at the moment. So yeah, kind of addictive for me.
And that's all the gaming news I have.
So for the TV and movie newcomers, the first one that I have is Armie Hammer launches a new podcast called the Armie Hammer Time Podcast. Armie was in the social network and Call Me By Your Name. In 2021, he got involved in some sexual abuse allegation, which included accusation of rape, engaging in cannibalism fantasies, and concealed partners into BDSM scenarios. When the LAPD got involved in the investigation, Armie was dropped by his publicists and his agents. His career has been derailed because of this allegation, and he eventually left LA altogether. Ultimately, no criminal charges were brought against Armie, who was denied the allegations and maintained that all relationships were consensual. 4 years later, Armie is back in LA. On Monday, October 28th, he announced on his Instagram the launch of his new podcast, the Armie Hammer Time Podcast. In his post, he mentioned, some of you are going to love this and some of you are going to fucking hate it. He added, this is going to be a sort of journal of putting life back together. He wants to have a conversation with people who have tools, skills, or have acquired wisdom, or just talk about random shit he doesn't know. And just like our podcast, basically. The first episode is already out, and he interviewed comedian actor Tom Arnold. They discuss personal growth, sharing stories of their experience with addiction, rehabilitation, rebuilding a career after setback, and more. Armie also talked about being scared that one day his kid will search for him online and see everything. He said one of the things he's really grateful for is, in terms of where he is in his life right now, is actually being a dad. Armie Hammer, who is 38, shared 2 children, Harper and Ford, with his ex-wife Elizabeth Chambers. His podcast, the Armie Hammer Time Podcast, is out now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Next is about Paramount has released the first 7 minutes of Smile 2, but that's a catch. If you're familiar with Smile, you know it's a horror movie centered around the smiling demon, terrifying people, and Smile become a symbol of this movie. So what the Paramount do is they release the first 7 minutes of Smile 2 clip, but to watch the full clip, you have to keep smiling for the entire duration. So when you go to the website, it will ask you to turn on the camera, then your own reflection appear at the corner of the screen. When you smile, the clip will keep playing, but the moment you stop smiling, the motion tracker picks up, the clip will stop until you smile again and it will resume. So if you watch the whole clip, you have to do the smiling for 7 minutes straight. So imagine if they release the whole movie online and you keep smiling for 2 hours, and everyone would be so good at their blowjob. It's a practice. Let me see. This week we also get to know Jumanji is coming back maybe soon enough. We know very little about what's going on with the third Jumanji, but back in 2022, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, did mention the director from previous two Jumanji installment, Jake Kingston, has a very special, cool idea for Jumanji 3, and that would be the finale for this new Jumanji trilogy. Jumanji 3 set December 11, 2026 as the release date. It will screen at IMAX and premiere in large formats. From previous two installments, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle earned over $960 million worldwide, become the fifth highest grossing film in 2017. Jumanji The Next Level grossing over $800 million worldwide, so that's a pretty good movie and I watch it and I like it. We all know Season 2 Squid Game is coming back, and I will tell you more about it in a bit. But what we also know is there might be a Squid Game English version coming in. As we know, Squid Game is a Korean series, came out on Netflix back in 2021. At this moment, it's still ranking as the streamer's most popular series, and it won 6 Primetime Emmy among its 14 nominations. This week, we have heard that David Fincher, a director who directed Armie Hammer's The Social Network, Mindhunter, Love, Death and Robots, and more, is icing to do an English language Squid Game series, and David is coming on to develop it. When this comes through, it will be a second Squid Game universe expansion. Currently, you can watch and stream Squid Game The Challenge Season 1 on Netflix. This is the first unscripted show in Squid Game universe, and we already know that this show got renewed for a second season, along with the video game franchise. Season 2 of Squid Game is set premium on December 26th, and Squid Game has been renewed for a third and final season as well on Netflix. The next one I want to talk about The Office. There's a couple of behind-the-scenes facts you may not know. On the latest episode of The Office Ladies podcast hosted by Jenna Fisher, who played Pam, and Angela Kingsley, who played Angela Martin on the TV series The Office, they told us a couple of behind-the-scenes. First one, they talk about the appearance of Michael Scott, who played by Steve Carell in the season 9 finale. Almost didn't happen. Steve Carell played Michael Scott for 7 seasons before leaving the show in 2011. When the series finale aired in May 2013, Michael made a surprise return as Dwight's best man at Dwight and Angela's wedding. This idea came from series creator Greg Daniels, who wanted Steve to come back. At first, Steve was reluctant to make an appearance for the show because he felt like Michael's story had really ended, and he didn't want to open it back again, and he also didn't want to come back after 2 years and have this finale episode overshadowed everyone else's ending for the show. So Greg proposed the idea of Michael attending Dwight and Angela's wedding, and Steve agreed with it. It was a creative reason that was supported by history kind of thing. But this Steve Carell appearance make a super secrecy in the show. A lot of actors in the show didn't even know this happened until the days of filming. Angela Kingsley was among one of the people to keep in the dark during the table reading. The script has a placeholder at that time, and Steve signed a secret contract that was kept under lock and key until he arrived on the set. Even the episode opening credits, Steve Carell's name was not listed to keep the surprise intact. Not just the actor in the show, Greg Daniels didn't even tell NBC at that time. The show executive ultimately didn't see the final cut episode until one day before it aired to the public, because Greg was afraid that if he turned in any footage of Steve Carell on the show before it aired, NBC would make a promos out of it and ruin the surprise for everyone. Second behind the scenes about The Office you may not know is, in the show, Holly Flex, who played by Amy Ryan, was dating Michael Scott. There was supposed to be a scene in the finale showing that Michael's and Holly's had 2 sons, and because of Amy's schedules, that scene's never been filmed and it's got scrapped. If you're curious about the names of their 2 sons, they are Chip Bonshaw and Noshinsby. And of course, Michael named them. He said this was based on the feeling he has when he first saw his two sons. So Shibonshu spelled as Chebonshur, and Loshinspin is spelled as Lowshebin as one word. So it's kind of weird name for naming anyone, basically. In the aired version of the finale, Michael did show Pam and his kid's picture. Michael told Pam that he got so many photos of his kid that he need to have two phones and two separate phone bills because of that. So I thought it was kind of funny, you know? So, teaser for this week. We have first look at the animation of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It will release in January 29th on Disney+. Ironheart's first teaser is also out, premiere June 24th on Disney+. First teaser for Daredevil Born Again has been released as well, premiere on March 4th, also on Disney+. Trailer out for this week, we have Christmas Movie. We got the first trailer of That Christmas. You can stream on December 4th on Netflix. A Man on the Inside, a brand new series trailer is out. This show follows a man hired by a PI to work as a mole at a retirement home suspected of elder abuse. It will release on November 21st on Netflix. Spellbound, an animation movie with John Lithgow, Nathan Lane, Jennifer Lewis, and Nicole Kidman is out. Premiere on November 22nd. First trailer for Queer is also out, starring Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey. It will be premiere in selected theaters on November 27. The End with Tilda Swinton, Michael Shannon, George McKee, and Moses Ingram. It is a post-apocalyptic story about a rich family living in a salt mine converted into a luxury home. Their son has never seen the outside world. Then one day, a young girl appears at the entrance of the bunker, and the whole family dynamic has changed. The End is coming out in theater December 6th. Mission Impossible 8 Dead Reckoning Part 2 trailer is out, premiere May 23rd, 2025. Fuck, Marry, Kill trailer also out, starring Lucy Hall and Virginia Garner. The Truck trailer is out, coming out November 29th. And new trailer for Squid Game Season 2 has been releasing December 26th on Netflix. What's on right now in movie theater? We have Magpie, Christmas Eve in Miller's Point, and Jury Number 2. Jury Number 2, I have a lot of high hopes for this movie because it's directed by Clint Eastwood. And for video on demand, we have Joker Voulez-Vous, Superman, The Christopher Reeve Story, Piece by Piece, The Credit, Citizen Winner, The Apprentice, Smile 2 are also on video on demand. On Amazon Prime, we have Citadel, Honey Bunny is on. It is a new series. On Netflix, we have Martha, Arnold and the Purple Crayon, Olivia Rodrigo Guts World Tour, Time Out, The Diplomat Season 2, Oblivion. The Well, with Brendan Fraser in it, is now streaming on Netflix as well. On Hulu, we have Pullman. On Paramount Plus, we have Treasure, The Dead Don't Hurt. On Peacock, we have Despicable Me 4. On HBO Max, we have Janet Planet. On Disney Plus, we have Wizard of Waverly Place. It is a sequel series. And others, we have The Substance is on Mubi in US. Dog of Chucky and the Exorcism 2024 version is also on Shudder and AMC Plus. And this is my TV and movie for Newcomers Corner for this week.
Nice. Oh, I said earlier that was my gaming news. That was my newcomers. I'm stupid. I told you. You should have said that. I wrote it in the script. I said, Alize, you stupid bitch, and you didn't say it. You should have.
But it's not true. Next, Alice is gonna bring you all the gaming news you want to hear.
Nah, there's like three things. So, well, we all know subscription services are always getting more expensive, and it's no different in the gaming world. Reddit user on Reddit in class has stated they have spent over $2,000 on PlayStation Plus, which should last them until 2048. Keep in mind that is 35,154 rand, so like two PS5s.
But in the long term, he saved a little bit.
Suck a dick. Buy me the PS5s. Sad news for Concord players, as Sony has shut down Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios, stating that the mobile game will not be moving forward. A full internal email can be found on sonyinteractive.com. As expected, the plates for PS5 Pro are not compatible with those of the PS5 Slim, which, even though they are the same size, yeah, the more you know. Brian Horton, the previous creative director for Sony and Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales and the upcoming Marvel's Wolverine, is confirmed to be working on Xbox's highly anticipated first-person shooter, Perfect Dark. So, new job for him.
Next, we're gonna have topic of the week, and Alice will tell you Pokemon leaks.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking all about the latest Pokemon leaks. This was a massive leak. I would like to start by saying that in no way do we feel that leaks in of themselves are a good thing. Leaking personal information is not a good thing, and earlier this year, in August, Game Freak experienced an incident where a third party had acquired a massive information ranging from personal emails, group chats, beta Pokemon designs, and even source code for games such as unfinished versions of the Pokemon Legends ZA game that's set to release next year. Over 2,600 employees were affected by this leak, making this the largest leak since basically Ashley Madison.
Oh.
So that affected people in a very different way, I guess. So let's talk about some of these leaks. In terms of beta Pokemon designs, there are images for Pokemon from Gen 1 all the way to Gen 6. Some of these designs aren't even that different from what we got in the games. However, some like Blaziken make you wonder what type of Pokemon they were supposed to be, what types they had, because it looks kind of like had like a jet body instead of two legs and stand like a man. Outside of beta designs, we also had beta music for things like encounters, trainers in the games, so all that is up on the internet for you to find. I'm not gonna necessarily perpetuate this
Why not? I'm kidding.
any more than I'm already doing, I guess. Okay, so one of the most interesting things for me was basically a blueprint for the origin of the Pokemon world. As in the beginning there was chaos, and in the middle of this chaos formed a first Pokemon egg, I suppose. And from this egg hatched Arceus, like the legendary god Pokemon. And then these eggshells come to life and they fight Arceus. He defeats them but is injured, and he uses their bodies, these like defeated giants' bodies, to make Dialga and Palkia in the images of his two halves.
So what are you saying is the Arceus hacked from the eggshell, and then the Arceus himself is fine, but then the shell turned into like Voldemort, separate his body to different parts, and then they fight Arceus. Is that what you mean?
I don't know if it's like Voldemort, but they fight, yeah.
Oh, so the eggshell actually turned into different Pokemons.
It says giants, but
Turned into giant Pokemon.
so yeah, he makes or they make Dialga, Palkia, and Dialga and Palkia they make Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, the Lake Trio from I think the fourth games. They are supposed to, by the will of Arceus, fill the world with life, and they make this big tree of life out in the middle of chaos. I guess there was no world yet, just a big tree. And this tree is growing too big, so they ask Dialga and Palkia, I guess their parents, hey, can you come help us? And the parents are like, okay, and they make Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon from the third generation games. They go and they break this tree of life. And Lake Trio are like, we didn't mean destroy it. So Rayquaza uses some of the branches or whatever and becomes the sky. And Groudon becomes the land, and Kyogre becomes the veins of the rivers and lakes and oceans. So from then, Arceus says, cool, now there's a place for all life. Let's make kids. Therefore, the world is full of Pokemon, and the descendants of Dialga are Pokemon, the descendants of Palkia are humans. And that's how we got here.
Wait, so you're saying Pokemon become human?
I'm saying we all come from the great Arceus. We're all his children.
That is a wacky story, I need to say.
Yeah, this is wild, and it's not exactly canon because we don't know what direction the physical games in reality are taking place. Obviously, these stories were never meant to see the light of day.
Wow, no wonder why they didn't see the light of day. Because it's whack.
With that being said, there are some other stories that are not the most appropriate things and were probably never meant to go into games or ever be seen.
Oh, that's the gossip I want to hear.
So, one of these stories revolve around a man walking along the coast, right? He's just walking along the coast. This is long before there were Pokeballs and Pokemon and people were like very separated. This was the old times.
The latest Pokemon game, which I forgot the name, because that kid traveled back in time where they find the first generation of Pokeball.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Legends Arceus.
Ah,
No,
yeah.
long before that, Jackie.
Oh,
Long,
wow. It's even before
long,
that. Okay.
long ago. Okay, so a man's walking along the coast and he sees an Octillery. It's a water octopus Pokemon.
Oh.
And he does things to it and he tosses it back into the water.
You mean he captured him and tossed it back to the water, or he captured the Pokemon by his hand?
No, no, he just does things to it, inappropriate things, and he puts it back in the water.
I like it when you add the appropriate thing.
He keeps coming across this Octillery every now and then. He's walking across the beach and he sees this Octillery and they have their relations and he puts it back in the water.
Whoa! My imagination just go wild for
Until one day he comes across the Octillery and the Octillery has a human baby and says it's his and he must take care of it because she can't, raise it in the water. So yeah, that's one of the stories.
Oh my gosh, so what I thought it was, that is true, that they have sex.
Jack.
But that's basically what you said though.
Yes, there was clearly a time where humans and Pokemon.
Wow! When you get horny, you get horny.
These stories don't get any better.
Oh,
We're only gonna do 3 of them in total, and they are maybe the biggest stories. There's another story about a woman who would go into the woods with her friends, right? Still long ago, long before Pokeballs, everything, long ago.
okay.
And they would go into the woods and they would beat up on Slakoth, these small sloth Pokemon.
Oh.
Cut off their ears, take out their eyes,
What?
kill them. Yeah. That's the one day she goes looking for Slakoth to abuse, basically, comes across a Vigoroth, the Slakoth's evolution, right? This next stage. It has a cut ear, so I guess he knows her. She wakes up next to this lake, right? Bunch of dead Slakoths just hanging in the trees and coming out towards her. It's not a Vigoroth anymore, now it's a Slacking. So the final stage of this Pokemon line, and she sees it still has a cut ear, so it's the exact same one. She runs away. Sometime later, she gives birth to a Slakoth, and
What?
Jack. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. She stops hanging around with the other cool kids who kill Pokemon, and she takes care of her Pokemon child. Until one day her friends come looking for her and they find the Slakoth and they kill it because they think it's funny. They kill her child.
What?
She cries and cries and she drowns herself in the lake. Some crazy shit.
Crazy shit is not the word I was looking for.
Fucked up.
Yeah,
Like, none of
exactly.
these stories were meant to see the light of day, and they were kind of trying to base it on, old world, like mythos of what people would do with spirits that they met and stuff.
You know what? I would see Rick and Morty will have a storyline like that, but not like Pokemon.
Okay, the very last story I'm gonna go over is what people have been calling the Typhlosion allegations.
What?
Typhlosion, it's like a big quill Pokemon, and it's got that fire quills on its back.
Okay, yeah.
So she was a village girl. He was a fire starter. Could I make it any more obvious? She got lost one day, and he kidnapped her while wearing a cloak and told her not to look at his face while he pretended to be a human man. He would keep her in a cave and go out to get berries for them to eat. Eventually, she said to him her father's gonna worry about her and he's gonna come looking for her. He taps her on the head and she forgot about her father in that moment. Some Stockholm shit happening in life.
No idea what's going on.
Time passes by. They have a human child. She's like completely now kind of with him. They're married. She understands he's a Pokemon. And one day he sends her to like go get branches for the fire. He tells her not to get branches from the bottom of the trees. She needs to get it from the top of the trees. She says, "Fuck that shit. That's too hard." She gets from the bottom of the trees. And he's like, "You see now, your father's gonna find us because he's gonna see that branches have been broken and shit." And she's like, "Oh, well, is that bad?" "Well, yes, your father's gonna want to take you away from me, so I'm gonna have to kill him." And she's like, "No, no, no. I'd rather you die."
Wow.
Fair enough. Like, you did kidnap her, like, honestly. So he says, "Okay, if your father shows up and if I do die, take my body, take my skin, my voice, and my some other stuff, and burn me and sing this song. Ritual burial or whatever." The day comes, her father versus the Typhlosion husband. He goes like, "Your father's here." He goes to fight, and the human man wins. He kills the Typhlosion. She runs out. She's like, oh no, you killed my husband, father." And her father's like, "That's insane." He sees the child and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna build you guys a little cabin close to the village so that you're at least close to me." But the villagers, they bully her and her kid. They make fun of them and they try and like put Typhlosion's skin over them. And she pleads to her father, "Please, please don't let them put the skin on us. We're gonna turn into Typhlosion. I'm already half Typhlosion." And he's like, "Are you insane, woman?" So the villagers put the skin on them one day and they turn into actual Typhlosion. And they walk away off into the wild. And the story ends saying Typhlosions are half human.
This is such a good bedtime story. Thank you,
Right?
honestly.
I was actually thinking about it. It's so fucked up in many, many ways. Like, you'd have to change the start of it, right? So that it's not a kidnapping. But it's almost the Beauty and the Beast kind of thing.
And this is an animation or this is a game
No,
plot?
this was just a story. They have these stories that they were writing for like mythos and lore for upcoming games and things like that. But they never, obviously, all of these were never implemented, and they're not appropriate and stuff. But these were like the types of mythos they would have for human and Pokemon interaction before it was normal.
All I'm saying is if this plot is in Rick and Morty, that would make perfect sense.
Jesus. But that is the Pokemon leaks from my end. I'm not gonna do any more than that.
Thank you, honestly. That's a pretty good bedtime story.
Okay, and here's Jackie with music.
Okay, first one I want to talk about is Adele. Adele shared a tear during her concert last week on Saturday, October 26th. Adele performed at the Colosseum at Caesar's Palace. During her concert, she likes to walk around and sing for the audience. This time, while Adele was walking through the crowd, he spotted her idol, Celine Dion, in the audience. Adele immediately cried and gave Celine a hug. Later that day, Adele explained why she was so emotional. In a post of Twitter, she shared that she has been performing in Celine Dion's venue at the Colosseum for almost 2 years. This is the only venue she wanted to play in Las Vegas because it was built for Celine Dion. Adele even has a picture of Celine Dion right next to the stage, and every night before she walks out, she touches it. During the weekend show, Adele actually saw Celine right there, which is why she was so touched and emotional. The Colosseum at Caesar's Palace was built in 2003 to host Celine Dion's New Day residency. Since then, this venue have attracted other artists like Elton John, Kylie Minogue, Diana Ross, and more to perform there. Next, I want to talk about Shawn Mendes opened up about his sexuality during his concert. On Monday, October 28th, Shawn performed at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. While performing his song The Mountain, he opened up to fans and head on telling them the real truth about his life and that his sexuality is something that he's still trying to figure out like everyone else. He says sometimes he knows and sometimes he is not sure. There have been gossip about his sexuality for a while, and sometimes it got to him. Shawn Mendes told the crowd that this song, The Mountain, is a way of explaining his journey while going through it. Shawn is 26 years old now, and when he was 20 years old, during an interview with Rolling Stone, he mentioned he felt like he sometimes needed to be seen with a girl in public just to prove to people that he's not gay. Even though he knows it's not a bad thing, he said he hates that side of himself. So that's why he created that song to express his feeling and tell people what he actually feels. Next is Scissor Sisters are coming back for a reunion tour next year. Scissor Sister has announced a reunion tour in the UK and Ireland for May 2025. Jake Shears, Baby Daddy, and Del McGrace are all joining the tour, which makes Anna Matronic, which will be the only member not attending. Scissor Sister formed in 2000, and this year marks the 20th anniversary of their debut album. Anna explained that the reason she won't take part for the reunion tour is due to scheduling conflicts with her podcast contracts, as well as several long-term research and writing projects. However, she says she will be there in spirit kicking with the fans. Despite Anna's absence, the band is determined not to replace her. Del and Jake explained that Anna is part of the spirit of the band and they want to honor that. Ticket for the UK 2025 tour went on pre-sale on November 6th. With generous sales starting on November 8th, the tour will visit Nottingham, Glasgow, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Manchester, London, Leeds, Birmingham, Belfast, and Dublin. Scissor Sister have won 3 Brit Awards and were nominated for a Grammy before announcing an indefinite break in 2012. If you're excited as I am, you know Wicked is coming to movie theater very soon. On October 30th, Republic Records announced there will be fan edition soundtrack coming out. There are fan edition vinyl box set for $99. This included an exclusive album cover, pink or green splatter vinyl, and She's beanie, pennants, and a patch, and an envelope from She's, including 2 exclusive trading cards, postcard, a required reading list, and an exclusive notes from Stephen Schwartz. Fan edition CD for $50. This included a 34-page book features photos, song lyrics, and 9 exclusive photo cards. Alphabet cover vinyl with 2 LP for $46. Glinda vinyl cover with 2 LP also for $46. Picture disc vinyl for $51. This contains double picture disc, exclusive cover, gatefold jacket, and 2-side fold-out posters. Standard LP for $40, standard CD for $14. There are also a Barnes & Noble's alternative cover CD for $13.99, a Target exclusive CD for $12.99, and a Target exclusive vinyls for $39.99. And lastly, I want to talk about new music came out this week singles. We got Punished by Ethel Cain, Alex for the Upper Class by Halsey, Gorgeous by Snoop Dogg, South of France remixed by Future and Travis Scott, I Need Answers by Juvenile Baby, I Wish by Ava Max, You Go Your Way Walk version by Piri Edwards, Meet Me Next Christmas by Pentatonics. For albums, we got Eternal A Take 2 by Little Use, Drip by Baby Monster, When Christmas Come Around Again Deluxe version by Kelly Clarkson, and Songs for a Lost World by The Cure. And this is my music news for this week.
Wonderful, Jackie.
Next, Alistair will tell you all about competition and events. So what do we have, Alistair?
In terms of events, there's a Halloween event for Pokemon Sleep. This started on the 28th of October. Pokemon Go developers Niantic Inc. has shared some updates to the Gigantamax system that you can see starting with Gigantamax Gengar. The difficulty will be lowered compared to previous Gigantamax battles. After defeating Gigantamax Gengar, trainers will get 25k Stardust. The catch rate of Gigantamax Gengar will be increased. And then for local South African tournaments on console and mobile, visit Metal State and acgl.com as they host weekly tournaments for games such as Call of Duty Mobile, EAFC, Fortnite, Clash of Clans, and many more. So, Jackie, can I get some rapid fire?
Yes, let's do that. Okay, so for discount this week we have Games Planet have Resident Evil 4 on for Steam is $17.99. From Fanatical they have a Birthday Flash, Silent Hill 2 22% off for $54.59. Tales of the Ares Beyond the Dawn Ultimate Edition for 50% off for $43.99. Doom Eternal Plus Deathloop Pack 83% off for $17.49. Pac-Man World Repack for Steam is $5.39. From Humble, we have Dark Pictures and Little Nightmare Horror Collection Humble Game Bundle. For $20, you get 7 items. They are the Dark Picture Anthology, The Devil in Me, Little Nightmares 2 Deluxe Edition, the Dark Picture Anthology House of Ashes, Little Nightmares Secret of the Maw Expansion Pass, the Dark Picture Anthology Little Hope, Little Nightmares, the Dark Picture Anthology Man of Medan. For $15, you get 6 items. For $10, you can get 4 items. For $5, you get 2 items. From Greenman Gaming, we had Strange for $12.74. From Steam, we have Night School Complete Bundle for $2.80. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita Rewind for $29.74 or 267 Rand and 75 cents. Stray for $17.99 or 165 Rand. Vampire Survivors Ode to Castlevania DLC is $3.59. The Classroom, which is $6.99 or 70 Rand. Behemoth $3.59 or 37 Rand 80 cents. From PlayStation, we have Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection is $16.49 on US PlayStation Network. From US eShop, we got Hades for $9.99. Star Wars Heritage Pack, the 2023 edition, is $27.99. Golf Story is $3.99. Cat Quest 2 is $3.74. Cat Quest 3 is $14.99.
Pre-order Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition for PS5 or X for $229.99 via GameStop. Now $50 cheaper because Season Pass and 3-day early access was taken out of the Collector's Edition. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete, the paid offline version, releases on mobile on December 3rd. The special launch price is $9.99 until the 31st of Jan. Regular price will be $19.99. That's after the 31st of Jan. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom Switch is $49.99 on Woot. A gaming PC desktop Cooler Master Sneaker X. This is a Intel i7 13700K NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 32GB DDR5 and a 2TB M2 SSD with Wi-Fi and Windows 11. That is $1,609.30 at Woot. And Halloween 7 Resurrection is 1 cent via Amazon Video. From free, we have Return of the Phantom is free to own on GOG. Free Prime gaming titles are A Plague Tale Innocence, Death's Door, Haunted Hotel Personal Nightmare, Collector's Edition, Scorn, and Koromon. Many more games are also available this week. Reminder, these are free to keep. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Mafia Definitive Edition are free on Prime Gaming. Ghostwire, Tokyo, and Witcher are free on Epic Game Store. Free Halloween skins for all players on Palworld. This is on the version 0.3.10, now available. There's Halloween Kativa, Spectacle Catrus, and Halloween Krojiro. Juice WRLD is getting a free skin on Fortnite to honor his legacy and love for the game. All players who log in between November 30th and December 1st will receive the cel-shaded Slayer Juice WRLD outfit. Okay, from our DLCs and subscriptions, there's Nintendo Switch firmware update version 19.0.1 is rolling out. Fixed an issue where communication processes such as software downloads would not function properly during sleep mode. Shadow Man and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil have joined the Nintendo Switch Online library in the Nintendo 64 collection. With PlayStation Plus Essentials November titles, there's Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharge, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Death Note Killer Within. We spoke about that earlier. Alright, Jackie, what are your final thoughts? That, I guess, was our show. We took a week off to give them this. I hope everyone who listened actually enjoyed something in
The reason we took a 1 week break is because sometimes we just have too much to do in personal life, so my apology for that. And second thing is, when you send your kid to school, doesn't mean they all come back trans. And remember, don't show your true color on your first date.
No, show the true colors. Don't listen to Jackie. That is the only thing you need to know to find love. Don't listen to Jackie.
No.
Thank you again to anyone and everyone who gave us a listen. We truly appreciate all and any small forms of support. It means the world to us. We also want to reach out. We want you guys to reach out to us, give us ideas for topics that we could cover or bridges we could jump off. Give us a follow on the app formerly known as Twitter at WTWZ Podcast. It's definitely too late for me. I need to switch on the fridge and go to sleep.
And hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Good night.
Every time's gonna make me what you want. Burning times gonna make me what. Every time's gonna make me what you wanna. Oh. Every time's gonna make me what you wanna. Cutting down's gonna make me what. Every time's gonna make me what you wanna. Oh.